Hello everyone! As has been the case every Saturday for a while, we take another dive into the mysterious world of the Forgotten Languages website, exploring its ties with UFOs. Today's topics include consciousness as a universal field and how it interacts with aliens, and Homo sapiens as domesticated species. But before that, I would appreciate a lot if you could like, subscribe if you have not yet, and share the video. This way we can spread the awareness of the UFO phenomenon, its reality, and our interaction with non-human intelligence as we draw near the actual disclosure. Thank you. First and foremost, we have arrived in year 2016 in our journey. I did scour the remainder of 2015, but there were few precious articles concerning UFOs and aliens, and whatever mentions there were would be repeated, so we are moving straight to the 2nd of January of 2016, and the article titled Long-Range Detection of Consciousness Fields Detecting Intelligent Life Through Mind and Matter-Weak Interactions. Well, the title was quite a handful, right? My first thought here was what we hear over and over again in UFO circles. That consciousness might be the primary structure, the substrate, whatever wish to call it, of reality itself. The title suggests it can function as a detectable quality and over long distances too. Let's see what the English text suggests this time.
Connected information between brain signals and subconsciousness states can be detected by analyzing variations in the Rabi frequency, which occur when the space volume under search is radiated with a characteristic light field. Field of consciousness extends well beyond the technosphere. Therefore, its detection would allow a swarm of exploring probes to detect intelligent life in a target planet.
The first two paragraphs do suggest that consciousness spreads out like a field. We have a direct comparison to technosphere, which is very much a fingerprint of technological achievements. In our case, that of humanity, the technosphere dates back to the first years of the 20th century, when early radio transmissions started propagating through space. Since electromagnetic radiation travels at the speed of light, it would mean that our technosphere or technobubble covers the radius of approximately 125 light-years around the Sun. That distance alone covers a chunk of space which contains many star systems, some of which are considered prime candidates for Earth-like life, like Tau Ceti, Epsilon Eridani, and so on. Next, we read the following text.
Actually, it is self-awareness what's being detected. Whether self-awareness can be taken for consciousness or not is not our problem. The very moment we could detect self-awareness emanating from a planet, we can be sure that planet hosts life, and we could thus instruct our probes to focus on that planet, saving us a lot of time in the exploration strategy while traversing the galactic search space.
Self-awareness is a trait which has developed a long time ago. It is fairly safe to assume that it has existed in some more or less complex forms as long as the genus Homo does, so almost 3 million years. And it is not necessarily out of the question that it reaches further back in time to our evolutionary ancestors, whom we would rather classify as animals. That bubble of self-awareness is big enough to cover the entire galaxy of Milky Way at the very least, assuming once again that this field could travel at the speed of light. And if we move back 3 million years, that makes even the Andromeda galaxy within the reach of those self-awareness signals.
Any life form fitted with consciousness distorts the vacuum field, causing fluctuations, which arrange in specific pattern comprising the so-called consciousness fingerprint. Detecting those patterns equates to detecting the presence of intelligent life forms within the search space. The experience of pure consciousness does not only have physiological correlates, it also leaves a distinctly detectable signal in the vacuum state. Detecting these signals would allow us to not only detect in advance the presence of intelligent life within the search space, but to also obtain an assessment about what type of life forms do live on a target planet and how advanced they are.
It is also safe to assume that any alien civilization would be developed enough to be capable of finding us in space through the field of consciousness, whether through biological means or technological advancement and technology. and the text hints explicitly at the merger of the two and the interactions of orb-like UFOs with humanity as follows.
Obviously, the field of consciousness is non-abelian. That is, it interacts with itself. This means orbs, as probes, cannot be manned or otherwise the crew's consciousness field would interfere with the measurements. During a near-death experience, you do not see bright lights and beautiful landscapes. What you actually see are probes which have detected your altered state of consciousness. You are not experiencing, you are being probed.
And these near-death experiences have been associated with expanded consciousness, perception, and states in which everything feels and looks more real than real. Could it indeed be the case that in states like these and other chemically or mystically induced ones, we are indeed capable of making actual contact with non-human intelligences? Many experiencers seem to confirm this hypothesis. Next, we move 1 week later to the 9th of January, when the site posted an article titled Introgressive Hybridization: Homo sapiens sapiens as a domesticated animal. My first thought here were the theories of the Anunnaki of Sumerian mythology. There are people in the UFO circles who claim the Anunnaki actually made humanity in its current form, possibly through manipulation of genetic material. Whether this theory holds any truth to it or not, it seems to match the title of the article. Let's see if this is a correct assumption.
The issue boils down to whether a domesticated species like humans should be considered taxonomically identical with its wild ancestor or not. Tendency to tameness is distributed in a majority of the hominid lineages, though limited to the species and planets in which human societies had a predisposition for being domesticated, such as a strong dependency on technology and technological means they wouldn't have obtained by themselves. The domestication of humans did not drastically change its morphology.
It is difficult to speculate whether our evolutionary cousins and ancestors were less tamed than ourselves. Perhaps so, since they lived in a world which was much more hostile and much more difficult to navigate through without the technological advances our species has wrought. But could it be the case that this is a result of an alien intervention? The non-English parts of the text do mention our planet, which is usually referred to as Sol 3 in the Forgotten Languages corpus, but it also mentions Altair 3, which would be the third planet in the Altair system, the brightest star of the Aquila or the Eagle constellation. There is also a mention of Lytha too, but unfortunately I could not find a star named Lytha for the life of me.
The results indicated that the individuals included in the study that represented the Sol 3 lineage showed the most affiliate and even tactile behavior towards their Gizelian caretakers. Some of the abducted humans in Lytha too showed relatively high level of affiliation towards Gizelians, and in that sense they could also be pre-adapted for domestication. But in general, Sol 3 hominid is indeed not fearful towards us, and they are easy to tame.
The text hints that the Gizelians are the aliens who have tinkered with ourselves, perhaps modified our genome and made us, well, possibly their pets it seems. As to why, we could only speculate. But given that the Gizelians have strong ties to the Middle East, perhaps the theory of the ancient aliens allegedly surviving in the humanity's eldest myths could be a bit more real than we are usually prone to think. The last paragraph is once again spoken from what I assume to be alien perspective, and indicates our cluelessness, which I quite frankly agree with. We share the Earth with a myriad of other species, not even alien ones, and yet we rarely think about it on the everyday basis.
To find a definition and characterizing criteria for what it means for Sol 3 humans to be classified as domesticated is not straightforward, as they show territorially minded behavior, which extends to a small extension of Sol 3. And though they are ready to die defending that small portion of their planet, even killing other humans along their way, they totally lack a sense of sharing a planet at all.
What do you think of the notions presented today, dear viewers? Could it be possible for our consciousness to be projected far into space, perhaps as far as the nearest galaxies? And can it be perceived by aliens living somewhere far away? Could it be that those very aliens, the Gizalians in this case, did sense our presence early on during our history and arrived here, tampered with our genome, resulting in what we are today? Could we be an alien petri dish? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I tried to keep this video as concise as possible, as I have been preparing a much longer one for a while now and managed to stop procrastinating about it, so stay tuned. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I will see you soon in another video. Take care!